I started my academic career right out of high school as far as going to school. I went to college at 18. I thought I knew what I wanted to do. I was a first generation kid who didn't know much about the higher education system. My parents were as supportive as they could be, but they didn't know anything really about the system. And I thought I wanted to be a teacher. My dream was to be a high school history teacher. That was kind of my thing. I wanted to teach US history and world history, and that's what I wanted to do. And so I immediately went to IU Southeast and started on that journey. As I went through, I realized that that really wasn't for me. I started doing classroom observations. I still have a tremendous amount of respect for teachers and for the K through 12 system. Some of the biggest influences in my life have been teachers. But I found that my career at the time, which was emerging as a retail career, kind of derailed me. I preferred to work than focusing on my studies. And in hindsight, I think that's been kind of a double edged sword. I mean, I would never tell someone that they should not go to college right out of high school because I don't believe that. If you have the means and the opportunity, you definitely should. And if it's something you're passionate about, if you're not, passionate about trades or passionate about some other occupation where that may not be a required component, then again, education is always valuable. I basically kind of couldn't find my way, wasn't sure what to do, and ended up not finishing my degree and instead went into retail management and worked at several high profile companies across the eastern seaboard and also here in the Midwest, and even did some dabbling in real estate. So I was doing a lot of things. And, there was always something missing, though, something that I felt like I should be doing and I just hadn't been doing. Fast forward to when I was 30 and I had become a new father and had all these other responsibilities. I was working at the time for Target as a logistic manager for them, a logistics manager in the stores, and making, by all accounts, good money, but working 90 hours a week for that. And I just, at the same time, we lost my little sister, and I decided to make a move back to the Midwest, back here to Indiana. And the reason I set this context and the reason that I kind of lay this out is that to me, that was a turning point, a pivotal moment. I had all of this management experience working in different environments, whether that be in Raleigh, North Carolina, in Northern Virginia, or back here in the Midwest region. But in 2005, I came back. I actually got my certificate, associate's, and bachelor's degree within a year because that's how little college I had left to complete in order to get there. And I got my degree in labor studies. And that was kind of the moving point of me really getting ignited in this search for education. And so what I did was I began thinking through what's the next step. Well, as an adult learner, someone who came back as a 30-year-old person trying to learn new things, I went on immediately to my master's degree, which is in adult education. And adult education covers a lot of things. It's not just returning older adults. It's actually anybody who is an adult, 18 or older, anybody out of the K through 12 system who is engaging in lifelong learning. So that spans the entire spectrum. And maybe we'll go into that at another time, but that's where I went. And during all this time, I'm still working. I'm doing retail banking management. I'm doing retail. I'm doing all these different things. And I finished my degree in adult ed. And by this point, I'm married to Melissa. Now we're a family of 5, and we're just, continuing to grow. I thought, well, can I take this a step further? I'm not sure if I should, but maybe I will. And I had a long conversation with Melissa and the family and decided to pursue a doctorate in organizational leadership. Again, mind you, working the entire time. At this point, I started to think about, can I pivot? Can we do something different? Can I make a career change? Because the hours in any type of retail banking or retail service industry are extremely brutal. And I was balancing all of these things. And you can do that. Do not misunderstand what I'm saying here. You can do that. But for me, it was a big seismic shift. What did we do? Decided, went into the doctoral program. During that, in my second year, we had Corey, so now we're a family of six. I was still in banking management, and we were doing kind of a part-time uh, instructional design exploration. And I decided to take a pay cut and switch over to be an instructional designer at a staffing company in Indiana. And that was hard, I'll be honest, but it taught me a lot. So my passion was learning, training and development. I had done it in retail. I wanted to do it more broadly. And my goal was, and I was already starting to think about this, to eventually be able to either do some kind of development and design work as a consultant, and we formed our own company to kind of explore that, or to eventually break into the academic space. Because by this point, I was also teaching part time for what was at the time Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis. And since they've split into two separate entities. And so I was teaching, I was working as an instructional designer, I was going to school full time, and we were just trying to make ends meet and do things the best we could. Fast forward again, and I got the opportunity to work in a law school environment as an instructional technologist. So we put the company on the back burner. We were no longer really doing as much consulting work. I went full time into academics, and I helped law school faculty reimagine their courses, do online learning, transition different things from a face-to-face medium to online. And that's where I really started to find it. I really started to realize that that's the thing that I probably enjoy the most, because and I say I enjoy it the most because it combines kind of everything I've always done prior to that. It combines the customer service aspect. It combines the interpersonal relationships and conversational aspect. It combines adult learning. It pulls in experiential learning, things that I had taken as a student that I could then translate and convey to faculty members trying to do something different. And so I spent 2 years at the McKinney School of Law in Indianapolis, and it was phenomenal. Absolutely loved it. Move forward again after those 2 years, and I had the opportunity to work for the Associated Colleges of the Midwest as a liaison to their 14 campuses, talking about all of these same things that were really cool in my space as an instructional technologist at the law school. But now I could do that on a much broader level. I could see what was happening on 14 campuses in 5 different states. And I could share that information broadly through this consortium to help faculty members connect with each other and create new things and do new classwork and create programs. It was so much fun. Now, and I'm leaving out a lot here, but I also don't want to bore you with my entire resume. You can check that out. You can see I've got a lot of information online. It's really important, though, to understand this journey piece and how I've gotten to where I am now. And so all this time, I'm continuing to teach. I'm still teaching at IUPUI. I've taught there 15 years at this point of this recording. And I get this opportunity to go work with the same person I worked with at the law library. And she calls me and says, we're doing this capital campaign at a municipal library. I'd really love to have you work with us as a director of operations. Can you come and do that? And it was a phenomenal experience. It's kind of a departure from this academic realm I had entered, but also very valuable for what came next. And if there's anything that I hope you get out of this video, and it's going to be a little bit disjointed, it's a little bit less organized in some ways, as far as we're setting the trajectory, and then we're going to talk about something that's happened very recently that I'm excited about. But one thing that I hope you get is that our experiences define who we are. And I've talked about this in other videos, but that doesn't just mean our individual experiences. It doesn't just mean our personal experiences. It also means our professional experiences. And for me, understanding that what I've done as a part of who I am is very important. So I went from working at this very high level in the academic setting with these colleges to help connect everything from using technology to talking about in the classroom, very much pen and paper type activities, all of these different engagement strategies, to now, effectively running a large part of a municipal library in the state of Illinois. And we got hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. So in my responsibilities, I was over finance, human resources, facilities, and information technology. I learned so much from that experience, but there came a point the director was retiring. I wanted to be closer to home, and Valparaiso University was hiring, and they were hiring for someone to work with them on instructional design and technology and assessment. And I took that position. I interviewed. I was very thankful to be able to be selected for that position. And now my current role is as the executive director of what we call CITL, which is the Center for Innovation in Teaching, Assessment, and Learning. Now, I won't go into a whole bunch of detail about what I do, but again, when I said that I got to the law school and it kind of clicked, and this is the thing that I wanted to do, and then I got to ACM and I could build on that, and now this is the thing that I really could want to do, and it combined all of my stuff. Well, now I'm in a position where it combines even more of those things. So not only am I still doing some budgeting, am I still doing the operational, managerial, leadership side of things, but I get to connect with faculty and I get to provide and help them through professional development. Again, understand more of the teaching and learning environment, navigate new technologies, understand if technologies are right or wrong for them, and really serve as, hopefully, as a partner for them to realize their own vision for their own courses.